Hi, thanks everybody for joining us tonight for our 2026 Summer Camp Kickoff Scouts BSA Summer Camp webinar. Got an exciting night tonight. We're going to start off with some housekeeping items on the agenda, I believe. First and foremost, if you haven't joined us on one of these webinars before tonight, you as participants are all in what we're called listen-only mode. So you're muted by default. You cannot unmute yourself. And I believe your cameras are turned off by default too. If you do have questions, we encourage questions. We'd ask you to use the question and answer feature down on the bottom of your screen to get in touch with the presenters tonight. And if we think it's a good question for the whole group, we might answer it live and share it live. Otherwise, we'll do our best to stay on top of it and answer it right there in the chat for you. We are recording this webinar as we do all of our webinars. So if you have other folks from your unit that you'd like to share it with, you'd like to go back and reference it, you'll be able to find it on michiganscouting.org here in the next couple of days. It usually takes about 48 hours or so to get it up there. And along with the webinar itself, we will have the slide deck posted there for reference as well. Would like to kick things off before long. We have our agenda here up on the screen. Going to go through a look back at last year and what we've got in store for this year. And then, of course, we'll get into dates and fees and some of the technical stuff. You're going to hear from a good chunk of our summer camp leadership tonight. We got a couple of folks that we've got a pinch hit for, but without further ado, I want to introduce our VP of Camping Operations, Mike Solgrove, to lead us off. Mike, take it away.
Thanks, Greg. I appreciate that. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so very much for being a part of our meeting tonight. I hope you find it both informative and helpful to you as you prepare and plan for Summer Camp 2026. I would be remiss if I also didn't thank you for your leadership in scouting. I'm a great fan of the millions of volunteers over the generations that have given their time and talents to scouting. As an Eagle Scout myself, I know what a difference in my life my Scoutmaster was to me, and so I know what a difference you're making in the lives of your scouts. So I want to thank you for that. I appreciate you doing that. I thank you for taking your scouts to summer camp in 2025, and glad that you signed up to do it again for 2026. The whole purpose of this meeting tonight is kind of be the first domino to launch off our 2026 opportunities. This is a way of preparing you to know what the website information is, to make sure you hear about it and get to the leaders guides and read those, that you get all of your registration information in, as well as your anticipated number of scouts attending. That's critical for us in making sure that we order and prepare the right number of things to make sure those happen. And also that I want to make sure that we tonight offer you an opportunity to share the summer camp experience with other scouts. And I'll go into that a little bit later when we come to another slide. But we have an opportunity as scouts who take our kids to camp to make a difference to those troops that for some reason or other don't make it to camp. All right, Summer Camp 2025 was just simply an awesome summer. Across the board in our council, we had a large number of troops at Cole and at Rotary and at Gerber and at DBRA, and of course our new camp joining us in our council, Hiawatha. What a beautiful property that is. Just wonderful things happening across the council. Literally thousands of merit badges earned by our kids, lots of great memories and friendships made. I wish I could just take 20 minutes and show you slides and photographs from last summer of all the smiling, happy campers that we had in camp. It was a great, safe summer for us, and I blame all of that on you and our camp staff, because everybody just did an awesome, awesome job for us in last year. As part of our annual summer camp evaluation process, we do what we call a core value evaluation. Every unit is asked to fill out this form. We've done it since 2018, and so we have a very long list of leader evaluation, unit evaluations, in order for us to see and where we need to continue to grow and get better. The good news is in every single category last year across the board, we saw growth. Some areas significant growth, others small growth, but we saw growth. We still have some opportunities though, because I'm never going to be happy in my role as vice president, nor holding the staff accountable if we don't start hitting 95 across the board, which we had 2 properties do last summer. 2 scout camps did that across the board last summer. So I'm proud of those. But our core value number 1, clear and constant communications, which this meeting is the first domino of. We still want to keep getting better and better. Got to tell you the truth, though. One of the number 1 things we find out at summer camp on the Sunday when you come into camp, we ask how many leaders in camp have read their camp leaders guide. You wouldn't be happy if you knew the percentage that do. So part of that preparation is getting a hold of that leader's guide when it comes out and making sure that you read it. And better than that, share it with your camp senior patrol leader, share it with your moms and dads who are bringing kids to camp. Core number 2, dedicate and train staff. This one is always the highest across the board. Again, several of our camps last year hit even better than 93%, but I'm proud of every time we hit 90 and above, because that's an A and above. Core value number 3, strong scouting programs. We're very unique in that each of our camps offer some programs that are similar, but also some programs that are very unique to that particular property, which allows the scout troop to really have a great a la carte choice to be picking from for what they want to do with their scouts. Next core value is purposeful, safe scout camps that allow us to note for moms to know their kids are safe in camp. And we continue to do a very good job on that. We continue to focus on campsite restrooms and camp showers and camp eating areas, and that'll be our core focus again in 2026. Fair value for the food service. Again, we saw great growth in that, but we still see some opportunities to improve, and we'll continue to march in that area. Overall, our scout leaders, the troops at camp told us last year that they rated their overall experience an A experience, and we were very proud of that. Next slide, please. All right, this is the place where I always quote, and I always had this in every one of my webinars way back to when I was a camp director 40 years ago. And I always wanted people to know what Baden Powell said what scout camp is worth. But I want to add to it tonight 2 additional things. One of the things I didn't tell you in my bragging about 2025 is that you ought to know that for the first time in the last, since the council merged in 2012, for the first time, almost 62% of our registered Scouts BSA were in summer camp in 2025. Highest percent we've had in years. And I'm very proud of that. Again, that's your fault, folks. You made sure that happened. And I'm very proud of it. And I want you to know that. But I also want you to know that we got 39% of our scouts that just did not make it to camp anywhere. And I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be sitting in the chair that I'm in, or most of us are around this table. And I'm sure if you're an experienced scout leader, you'd say the same thing to me. A scout can't experience the best of scouting without getting to summer camp. And so I'm going to ask you to do 2 things tonight, and put it in your pocket and do it. And I want you to let us know you've done it. If you're doing something special to get as many of your own scouts in summer camp, and you're doing something unique and special, please tell us about it, because we want to share that with every scout troop in our council. The troops that do it the best, we want to reward you for doing that, and particularly those that are doing 80% of their membership or better, getting them to camp. That's a great story to tell of making a difference in the lives of those scouts. Secondly, and this is the newest, the biggest part of all, I'm requesting that you look in your district, and if you know a scout troop that for some reason or another cannot make it to scout camp, for whatever reason that is, I'd ask you to invite them to join your troop to camp. It will make a world of difference for those scouts. You and I both know that a scout will stay in scouting longer, learn the scout oath and law better able to perform it if they stay in scouting, and summer camp helps them to hold that retention. Secondly, you and I know more scouts that stay in summer camp, stay in scouting, become Eagle Scouts. And we know what a difference that will make in their lives. So do everything you can to make that happen. Last part of this week of scout camp is worth 6 months of theoretical training. We tried something brand new last year, and that was our Arrow of Light 3 days, 3 nights in camp at the scout camps. And it was universally successful in 2025. So much so that, as I promised in 2025, in 2026, we're going to try do it every single week where we have the capacity and the ability to do so. And so if you ought to be talking to your current Weeblos who will become Arrow of Lights by this summer, and make sure that they sign up as a den to get to the camp that you're going to be attending and participate in our Arrow of Light camp experience. That's a great way for you to get to know them to get to know you, and better prepare them to be in scouting for the summer of 2027. Great things that you can make happen in those areas. So many of your scouts as possible, a troop that's incoming that's in your district, and lastly, encouraging your Weeblos, soon to be Arrow of Lights, to get to their Cub Scout camp called Arrow of Light Week. All right, next slide, please. Legendary Camp Service. We make a commitment every year. I make a commitment every year that we will exceed in a menagerie of things that we hold our camp staff accountable for. It's why, quite honestly, why our staff are so well trained, why we score so very high in our evaluations by leaders of our camp staff. It's because we hold them to this legendary camp service that relates to those 5 core values that you've already heard me talk about a little bit for 2025. These areas are our commitment to every single scout, every single parent, every single troop, and every single scout leader, that we will do our very best to make sure it happens at camp. And if it's not happening, you need to tell us second one, so that we can make that better and make that experience the very best possible it can be. We have a lot of out-of-council troops that tell us they see things happening in our scout camps they simply don't have happening in theirs because of our commitment to legendary camp service. Next slide, please. Here are the pillars then again of those things that we both measure and are exemplified, meaning there are literally a 1,000 pieces, 1,000 dominoes that make up the building legendary camp service, but it boils down to these 5 core values that I've already talked about, where we ended in 2025, but we're going to be strengthening and going all out on to 2026 as well. Dedicated trained camp staff, strong scouting programs that are creative, unique, and special, and deliver a real bang for scouting. Quality and fair food service. It's the best that we can make it under the difficult situations of either small dining halls or pack outs or all the different things that make it difficult. We're doing our best to make sure that they're always at a constant A rating. Lastly, personal facilities that make sure that they're always usable, functional, and make a difference to the people that are in our camps. We want safe camps. We want healthy camps. We want camps that meet the needs of scouting leaders and their scouts. Lastly, communications. We do a lot of things starting with this meeting. There'll be literally domino after domino after domino. You'll hear many of them tonight. Jot them down or take a screenshot of the screen when it comes up. But you need to know about every one of these pre-camp meetings, these in-camp meetings, these online webinars that'll be happening unique to that particular camp that you're signed up for, as well as the massive number of things available into the website, including all of the camp leader guides. Next slide, please. Every one of our scout camps every one of our camp staff, starting from when they're hired forward, literally have to commit this to memory. Every camp has a big banner. Every camp staff is expected to stand up in front of the opening ceremony speakers and make this commitment out loud as to our commitment to the scouts and leaders and moms and dads who come and participate as customers and guests in our scout camps. We truly want to live up to and exonerate this mission as our top priority. Listen for it, watch for it, and hold us accountable for it, because we really believe in what it's all about. Next slide. I think that turns it over to somebody else. Thanks, Greg.
Hey, thanks a lot, Mike. We are going to jump right into the rest of our program here tonight with our pre-camp communication strategy for 2026. We've been refining this over the last couple of years, and on the next slide, you'll kind of see our layout here. Tonight is really phase 1 of this strategy, and that is our fall kickoff. This is going to be followed up by some camp-specific webinars and camp-specific kickoffs in January. You've got the dates right there on your screen. And each night we're going to focus on a different camp with the specific ins and outs. If you haven't made a decision by then, it's a great opportunity to learn very specific details on the camps. But if you have made a decision, we really encourage you to attend those, because that is what's going to set the stage for a successful camp planning season as we roll into the spring. In April, we were going to again do our open office hours. This is just an opportunity to log in and know that there's going to be somebody there to answer the phone and answer your questions. This is going to be on a virtual Ring Central platform, just kind of like this, but it'll be, unlike a webinar, it'll be more interactive, so you'll be able to unmute, and we're going to have our camp leadership there on the other end to answer those specific questions that you might have. This is not to say that that's the only time you can call us, but it's at least one time that we can guarantee there'll be somebody there to answer. By all means, feel free to reach out to any of our camp leadership throughout the course of the year as you may have questions. In May, we are going to be doing our in-person pre-camp leaders meetings again. We've got 4 destinations around the state, trying to kind of capture all of that, capture the demographic how best we can. And if there's a demand for it, we will also send some folks up to Camp Hiawatha if folks would like. If not, we'll have that meeting in Gaylord for the folks in the Eastern Upper Peninsula at least. And then last but not least, supplemental emails. If you're go ahead at some point tonight and make sure that you have the scoutingevent.com on your allowed email senders, so they don't get booted to spam. We send a lot of emails out through 247scouting.org or scoutingevent or .com/scoutingevent.com. That's our Black Pug registration system. And when you guys make your registrations, make sure you put as many emails in there as it'll let you populate, because we send a lot of information out by email through that system. Those are payment reminders, leaders guides, upcoming information, the sort. So lots of emails coming forward. Another resource that we hope you take advantage of is our video library. This can be found on michiganscouting.org, and there are a whole bunch of videos on there. I think we're up to 40-something. They're broken out by category. So if you have a very specific question about how to update your registration or how to work with Parent Portal, whatever it may be, there's going to be a video in there. Depending on the topic, it might be under a minute long, or it could be 5 or 10 minutes long if it's a more complicated subject. But what this does is lets you get access to the information right where you're looking for it, right when you're looking for it, rather than having to sift through a 45-minute long webinar recording and hope that the question was asked in there. There's a link there on the screen, and I believe there was a QR code somewhere. Definitely look forward to taking advantage of this video library. It's constantly being updated, so look back, and if you have specific topics that you think should be included on there, feel free to reach out to me or Andrew, and we will work on getting it up there as quickly as we can. Next topic on my agenda is to hit on our camp incentive program. As you guys can probably imagine, we like it when folks sign up for camp as early as possible. It makes our jobs of planning a successful summer a lot easier, a lot more straightforward, and it lets us provide the best possible program for you guys because we have as much information as we can as early as we can. So if you haven't already done so, get signed up for camp as soon as possible. Preferably before December 1st, because if you do sign up before December 1st, we're going to say thank you by giving you guys 2 free leaders to help ease that burden off of your leadership and off of your troop. So register by December 1st. You get 2 free leaders at any MCC Scouts BSA camp. And if you need help with the registration process, you can always reach out to any of the leadership team or your camp director. With that, I'm going to throw it over to Andrew. He's going to talk a little bit about our camp fees and key dates and things for 2026.
Thanks, Greg. Everyone gets to talk about fun things except me. I get to talk about the administrative stuff. So let's quick go through the camp fees for 2026 and what that's going to look like. We heard you loud and clear. Last year's fee schedule was really confusing with the in council and out of council and before the date and after the date. And so we've gotten rid of all of that for you, and we've put together a single fee if you're going to come and camp with the Michigan Crossroads Council in 2026. Then the fees that you see on the screen now are what you're going to pay. Any scout that is paid in full before May 1st is going to pay $430 for that week. If they do not complete all of their payments before May 1st, there is a $50 late fee that will total $480. And if they register after May 1st, any scouts that register after that May 1st deadline will pay that $480 fee. Provisional scout fees. We'll talk about provisional camping and some of the opportunities that are there later in this slideshow. They pay the same fees as a normal scout that is coming to camp. So they'll pay that discounted fee of $430. If they do not have that paid in full before May 1st, they will also be assessed the $50 late fee. Arrow of Light crossovers and new scouts are not penalized based off of that May 1st date. We know that we're always recruiting. We know that we have Cub Packs that cross over late in the year. And so we're not going to penalize any of those scouts that cross over late or come into the unit after May 1st. So their fee will stay at that $430 per week. Finally, if you would like to attend an additional week of camp, if you want to come to a second week of traditional Scouts BSA resident camp, you can do so for the cost of only $270. So that would be if your unit wants to attend to more than one property, if you would like to attend provisionally and see what else the Michigan Crossroads Council has to offer, you can do a second week for $270. I would like to say and talk very briefly about that this is what we call all-inclusive pricing. What we mean by that is anything that you need in order to conduct your normal resident camp. So this includes all of your meals. It includes access to any class materials for general classes. So if you have a scout that's going to take a merit badge that is a general merit badge, there's not going to be any additional fees. So when you go to some other camps, you get nickel and dimed with, well, I have a scout taking basketry, so he has to bring $15 in order to pay for the basketry supplies. And then you have another scout taking archery, and she has to come in with $8 to pay for the cost of damaged arrows and to make a bowstring, etc. We don't do any of that in the Michigan Crossroads Council. The only fees that you will pay additional is for those extras. So any high adventure type activities, typically that have things that take place off-site or anything extra. So by extra, a really good example of this would be in our range and target activities areas. If you have a scout that's taking rifle merit badge, they're not going to have to pay anything extra to take rifle merit badge to get all of their shots and everything in. But if you have a scout that has completed the merit badge or wants to go down and try and shoot rifle or just shoot for fun, then they're going to have to pay to do that extra activity. Some of our camps will do specialty programs like night climbing or night zip lining. Those typically have fees associated with them, but that is because those programs are outside of the general program that we offer to your units to help with the advancement of your scouts. You'll see the big orange box there. Camp scholarships are available. We want to make sure that every scout has the opportunity to come to camp. Rebecca is going to talk on camp scholarships in detail a little bit later in tonight's presentation, so I'm not going to steal the thunder from her. Any adults that are coming to camp, if you're coming to camp as a full-time adult, meaning that you are going to arrive on Sunday and you are going to depart on Saturday, that fee is $190. And any adults that are attending with your unit part-time will pay $40 per day. There is no splitting of full-time adults. So if you have an adult that's, coming Sunday and leaving Wednesday, and someone's coming Wednesday to relieve them on Saturday, you would register both of those individuals as part-time adults in conjunction with this fee schedule. Next, I'm going to move on to talk about some of the key camp dates. If you're joining us on your phone, I encourage you to screenshot this slide. If you're taking notes, take a minute to scribble down some of these dates. But these are the dates that you're going to want to make sure you have on a calendar with reminders set so that you don't miss anything. The first date coming up is the February 1st estimate confirmation. So on January 1st, you will be able to log into your existing estimated registration for summer camp 2026, and you will confirm the number of folks that you believe are coming to camp with you this year. You will do that by paying $70 per person. That is per youth and per adult. When you made a registration with us, or if you're planning on making a registration with us, the system will ask you for a $200 deposit. That deposit will automatically be applied toward that $70 per person fee. Units do have the option to select which individuals that they would like to apply that discount to, and they'll do that on the payment screen. After February 1st hits, if you have not made your $70 per person confirmation payment, you move into the next payment cycle, which is the second payment due March 1st. So if your unit misses the estimate confirmation on February 1st and you log in on February 2nd, the system is going to ask you for actually $140 per youth and that $70 per adult that was missed in January before that February 1st payment. But again, that March 1st second payment is a total of an additional $70 per youth. Merit badge sign up is done by camp. It's done over the course of 2 weekends. This is done to alleviate the server bog down that occurs from doing this. And so if you are attending Gerber Scout Reservation, you will be able to sign up for merit badges at 8 a.m. on March 14th, Camp Rotary at 8 a.m. on March 15th, Cole Canoe Base at 8 a.m. on March 21st, and Hiawatha at 8 a.m. on March 22nd. The caveat there, and you'll see it there in the big bold black letters above those dates, is in order for a scout to select their merit badges, they must be up to date on their payments, meaning the system will not allow them to select merit badges unless they are paid up to that $140 mark in line with the payment schedule. It's also important to note that merit badges are on a first-come, first-served basis. Many of our merit badges have limiting factors. Some things are standards that say we are only allowed to have so many individuals in the class. Some things are equipment related. If I only have 8 canoes and there's only 2 people allowed per canoe, and one of those canoes has to be for the instructor, that leaves me with 7 canoes. That means I can only have a class of 14 people to take that merit badge. And then finally, some things are based on the amount of time it takes to complete the merit badge. A really good example of this is communications merit badge requires that everyone in the class give a 5-minute speech. And so if you do the math, if you're in a 1-hour course, usually you have 5 minutes on the front end that are not usable as you're signing people in. You have 5 minutes on the back end. That leaves you with 50 minutes of time to do 5-minute speeches. So that means you get 10 5-minute speeches in that 1-hour time frame, assuming that you can line them up back to back to back. And so because there are time constraints associated with some of these merit badges, that is also why you will see class capacities across the board. We will be releasing our leaders guides. Our goal is December 1st. They are all being finalized and reviewed right now. So our goal is to have those out by December 1st so that you will have more than enough time to work with your scouts on selecting their merit badges. You will receive communications on how to do that, how to use the parent portal to make these payments and make merit badge selections if your unit wishes to do so. All of that will come out in an individual email. It will also be talked about in a lot more detail in the January webinars for each of the specific camps. The next date to scribble down in your notepad is April 1st. That is when the third payment is due of $145 per youth camper. And then finally, May 1st is the final payment deadline. This is for all youth and adult campers. $145 per youth. That'll bring their total to the $430. $130 is due for each full-time adult, making their total $190. And the $40 per day per part-time adult is also due at that time. It's important to note that before the system will allow you to make the final payment, you will need to make sure that all of the data is in for the folks that are attending camp with you. That's going to be addresses and phone numbers and merit badge selection. And the big ones are medical and food dietary restrictions. It's going to ask for those things, and it will not let you finish your checkout until all of that data is collected. So as you're planning and collecting those things, you're going to want to get all of that information from your scouts in that April to May 1st timeframe, as well as your adult leaders that are attending camp with you. So don't hit May 1 and be ill-prepared to make that final payment. You can make changes to your registration up until May 31st. After May 31st, there are no refunds per the refund policy of the Michigan Crossroads Council, so continue to plan accordingly. Lastly, May 4th through 7th, Greg already alluded to the fact that we are going to have the pre-camp leaders meeting in person. So bring your youth and adult leadership, your senior patrol leaders, your full-time adults that are going to be attending camp with you to one of our 4 locations where we'll have a generalized session to go over everything that pertains to anyone that visits any of our camps. And then we'll have a breakout session by camp to get your last-minute camp questions answered. We will live stream one of our 4 camps each night during that week. That schedule is still being finalized, but it will be on the registration link, which I already included in the Q&A, but I will put back in there as soon as I wrap up this slide. So if you can't make it in person, live streaming is available. But if you do join us in person, obviously we're going to have food and dinner, and we can provide you with a lot better and more personalized help as you finalize your plans to summer camp. With that, that is everything I have for key dates. I'm going to turn it over now to Diana Marsh to talk about our camping system. So, Diana.
Thanks, Andrew. So I'm actually going to be talking about our camps. Every camp director is going to be talking a little bit about their camp property. So we're going to give you a little overview of what's going on at each camp property. So our panelists, shall we say, for our camps will be on our next slide. Here we go. Cheryl Burrs is going to be our camp director at Camp Rotary, so she'll be joining us this evening. Myself, I will be covering DBRA's Trail to Eagle, and Joe Smith will be covering DBRA's Ranch Hand programs. Greg Zidan will be covering Gerber and High Adventure, I believe, as well as Cole for this evening. And then Eric will be covering Camp Hiawatha. As I said before, all of these are our main management teams for each camp property, and everybody's going to go on and say a little bit about their properties. So we're going to start with Cheryl Burrows at Camp Rotary.
Sorry, had to try to find all the right buttons. And I cannot figure out how to turn my camera on right now, so I apologize. We are gearing up for a great summer. We just had our 100th anniversary summer this past year. we want to continue for another 100 years and more. We've been listening to some of the evaluations that came in the first part of summer, made changes that affected the last part of summer, took more changes that we're going to do over the non-summer season to get ready for next year, changed up some of our merit badges for next year, added some new programs for youth and adults that we are still finalizing. But we are looking forward to a great summer, and I hope to have as many people come to Camp Rotary as we can.
Thank you, Cheryl. Next up is Cole Canoe Base, and I believe Greg Zidan's going to be covering that one.
Hey, yeah, thank you very much, Diana. I'm standing in for Team Cole tonight. Dan had something come up, so some quick little highlights on Cole up there. First of all, we are no longer the only, but we are certainly one of the patrol cooking options for your troops that enjoy patrol cooking. And we always get questions about it. We provide the food and the menu. Your scouts will come up and get it, and then they can go cook it back in their campsites. The team at Cole is happy to help provide. We have a limited supply of equipment and things like that if you need help, but generally, troops are going to provide their own cooking equipment. We give you the food, and you cook it in the campsite. Cole is also home to the Beast Feast, which is I guess a nationally renowned event. We can say it was at the time it was Boys Life. Now on the cover of Scout Life magazine. Feel free to look up that article. There's some really good opportunity there. But if you haven't experienced it, Beast Feast is basically a cooking contest gone wild. Definitely recommend experiencing it at some point in your scouting career. Cole has the river program, so that's for your canoeing, your kayaking, your rump bumps, and your tubing, and all that good stuff. We want everybody that comes to Cole to get an opportunity to hit the river at some point throughout the course of the week. It is definitely one of the more unique programs we have to offer in the council, and that is generally a lot of the river programs are available to you at no additional cost. Just come to summer camp and sign up. Cole is also one of our 2 ATV programs in the council. We not only offer the ASI ATV training program at Cole, but we also have some off-site ATV trips and other ATV programs available as well for experienced riders, provided that they have gone through all the appropriate trainings and things like that. You can reach out to us for more info on that. Lots of hiking trails, cycling trails, all that. Fully stocked trading post, and that all-inclusive merit badge program that Andrew mentioned earlier. Last but not least, if you go to Cole, we highly recommend go check out EcoCon. It is an award-winning ecology and conservation program. Just a couple quick notes on Cole before I move on to my next camp here, and that is, if you're going to the ATV program, there is an additional fee for that. It's a reasonable fee, but it does help keep the cost of the rest of the camp down. A couple new things that they're excited about this year is a new floating attraction. We call it the floaty bouncy thing down at the lake, something to play on in the swimming area, as well as some new archery equipment. But the biggest thing that's happening at Cole this year that I am excited about is we are rolling the Arrow of Light camp out to all 7 sessions of camp. So if your troop is in contact with PAX and you have Arrow of Lights that are wanting to experience Scouts BSA summer camp before they take that leap, get in touch with the team up there because they are happy to host them any week this summer. So that's going to wrap it up for my little session on Cole. We'll talk some more on the high adventure side of things here in a few slides. But I am going to transition over to Gerber because I am also working with Camp Gerber this summer. So if you haven't heard, Marie did accept a different position in scouting. So we are, I'm standing in for the camp director there tonight, but we are getting a new camp director over at Gerber. But we're still going to have the same fantastic program for your scouts to look forward to. We've got some new merit badges on the way. We also have the expansion of our scuba programs at Gerber. We kind of did some piloting last summer, and it was a huge success. So we're really, really excited to be able to offer scuba throughout the course of the summer. And your ongoing exciting cadre of evening programs and daily events, family night, a very strong Order of the Arrow program at Gerber with call-out ceremonies and the sorts. Gerber is also proud to have not only fantastic food service, great food over at Gerber, but Gerber University is our adult-specific program that really, really, a lot of our camps have adult leader trainings, but with this Gerber U, they've really kind of honed in on the intentionality of that program. So great things going on over there. I am going to kick it over to Eric now to talk a little bit about our newest member of the camping family, Camp Hiawatha up in the UP.
Well, welcome, and thanks for showing up tonight. Camp Hiawatha is in the center part of the Upper Peninsula, dead smack in the middle of the beautiful Hiawatha Land Forest, right next to the Pictured Rocks Lakeshore. We have patrol cooking at Camp Hiawatha. We have easy to follow recipes, so those first-year campers shouldn't have a problem to follow. We also have an ATV program at Camp Hiawatha, so we're the second camp that has an ATV program. All of our ATV rides are on campus. We have 800 acres of property to ride around on when you do the ATV program. It's a certification course. We have a fantastic range and targeting program with the cowboy action shooting, archery, tomahawks, slingshots, all kinds of shooting activities that we offer at Camp Hiawatha. We have Adventure Wednesday, where you can take a trek out of camp and go biking, hiking, canoeing, kayaking. You could maybe kayak the Pictured Rocks Lakeshore. That costs a little bit extra money to do something like that, but that's available to you. We have 40 plus merit badges that we offer up here at Camp Hiawatha. We also have a first-year camper program focusing on the tenderfoot, second class, first class rank requirements. So it's a great program for those first-year scouts to come up and get started. That's a half-a-day program, so you either do the program in the morning or in the afternoon. That gives you the second half a day to work on merit badges or other fun activities at camp. So I hope to see a lot of you there at Camp Hiawatha this summer. The more we get coming to camp, the more weeks we can add. So come on out, enjoy the adventure of Camp Hiawatha.
Thanks, Eric. So we are going to be talking about DeBoer Scout Ranch, myself and Joe. This summer at DeBoer Scout Ranch, we are going to be holding some specialty programs. So I am going to have Joe talk a little bit about Ranch Hand.
Evening, everybody. Ranch Hand program. The scouts can earn up to 6 merit badges in the program. They can register as single scouts, or even whole units can come to do the Ranch Hand program. We do a sleep out under the stars night. However, if they choose not to sleep under the stars, they can sleep in the Adirondacks. And it's an immersive program, and they work right alongside my wranglers in helping take care of the livestock and care for the animals, the other animals on the ranch, as well as maintenance of the ranch. And on Friday, we have an actual cattle drive where we actually go out and we move the cattle around on horseback.
Thanks, Joe. And let me tell you, that whole cattle drive thing is super cool. I got to do it once and I was so excited to do it. Yay. So thanks, Joe. That, as I said before, we're running that ranch hand program. We're going to be doing 2 weeks of that program. So please take a look at it. If you have any questions on that, Joe, the man in the hat, is the man to answer the questions on that one. I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about Trail to Eagle. If you don't know what Trail to Eagle is, or if you've never heard about it before, literally it is what the name is. It's Trail to Eagle. So it's designed for those older scouts that want to be an Eagle Scout, right? They have the opportunity to work on partial merit badges as well as whole merit badges, so they can come in and finish up their partial merit badges if they wanted to do so. Typically, it's around 6 badges that they earn during the week. So it's run kind of like a summer camp program where they have different merit badges scheduled during the day. And then in the evenings, they do additional activities, right? So there's an ice cream social. They might have some waterfront activities. You know, they play games and they have certain fun activities that they do in the evenings. So the whole program is a week-long program. They usually offer over about 65 merit badges that the scouts can choose from. And as I said, it's a week-long program, just like a traditional scout summer camp, but this is, as I said, focused on those Eagle required and all those other merit badges that the scouts need to get on their way to earning Eagle. This year will be the 32nd year that we're running this Trail to Eagle program. We are very excited about it, and as I said, that if you have any questions, the information is on the slide, but Teresa is going to be our camp director of that. I am doing the presentation for her this evening, but if there's any questions, feel free to ask myself or Teresa, and then ranch hand with Joe. So that is it for DeBarre Scout Ranch, and I think we have High Adventure right after us. So back to you, Greg.
Hey, I'm back. Thanks, Diana. I get to talk a lot more on these than I'm used to tonight. So, hey, Michigan High Adventure. It's one of our newer initiatives, but it is housed out of Cole Canoe Base, where we have had our traditional trekking and high adventure programs located out of in the past. But with the oncoming of Hiawatha and some other stuff we're doing around the state, we're really taking an intentional approach to high adventure now. So first and foremost, there's a couple things under the Michigan High Adventure umbrella that are kind of unique. First and foremost is the Mackinac Island Honor Guard program. If you're not familiar with it, it is a very, very cool, very solemn opportunity for scouts to act as an honor guard on Mackinac Island and work with all the flag lowerings and raisings that happen on the island throughout the course of the day. We do that in partnership with the state of Michigan. If you'd like more information on that, or you have scouts that could be interested, reach out to me and I'll get you in touch with the appropriate leadership for that. Michigan High Adventure is also home to the Retriever, which is, if you don't know, we got a 52-foot sailboat up in the Straits of Mackinac. There's a picture of it down there on the bottom left. And that is a nationally renowned, super cool program. That was also on the cover of Boys Life at the time a few years ago. It's basically a week-long liveaboard sailing program that is designed to take scouts who have never been on a boat and get them all the way up on helmsmanship and steering the boat and moving the lines and the sails and all that cool stuff. So a couple of the highlights there, but what Michigan High Adventure was really born out of was the Cole High Adventure program, which derived from long-distance canoe and kayak adventures, started doing some things out on the Great Lakes with the Great Lakes Kayak Adventure and things like that, and also has some backpacking opportunities available as well around the state. So anything from pre-built, pre-existing treks all the way up to highly customized trips for your unit. We are prepared and at the ready to work with that. We've got some sampler packages. There's really way too much to describe in this short amount of time, but reach out to me. I'd be happy to get you the specific information on different things. The one thing I don't want to make sure I overlook tonight is we have officially entered into a new partnership with the National Council, specifically Philmont and Seabase, where certain high adventure programs at Michigan are recognized as official training opportunities for certain programs at Seabase and Philmont, which will grant your unit priority registration for your next high adventure trip at Philmont or Seabase. So great opportunity, very unique to Michigan High Adventure. We're the only group in the country that has this kind of partnership right now. So take advantage of it because it's really a great, unique opportunity. We did have a question come through in the chat about the cost of some of our high adventure programs, and it's kind of all over the board, honestly. Some of our simpler high adventure services, could be virtually like almost nothing. But realistically, most of our high adventure programs are going to start around the cost of a week of summer camp. And depending on the trip and the complexity of it, they kind of mostly fit in that like $400 to $900 per person range. So great question there. We try to keep it as affordable as we can, but some of the more complicated trips do get a little bit more than the cost of summer camp there. So I could talk about this all night, but we got a lot more agenda to get to. So I get to turn it back now to Rebecca to talk about our camp scholarship program.
Hello all, thank you for joining us tonight. I'm going to talk briefly about the Camp Scholarship Program. We can go to the next slide. So first thing to note, there are no changes in the process of how you fill out an application and link it to your registration. The application will look slightly different. We are asking different questions this year so that we can really get down to the need and we can start accounting for family size. So the application will look a little bit different, but the process is the same. You'll fill out the application, and then on the Black Pug registration, you're going to click that they applied for an application, and as long as the names match exactly the same, they will link, and that amount will go supply and reduce it from the amount owed. They are available all season. However, we have moved the priority deadline from April 1st to March 15th. This way, families and units have more time to get their response back from their application before that final payment is due. Years previous, we've kind of gotten it back right before that week before that was due, and we wanted to give you more time to kind of figure that out. So we have pushed that deadline up to March 15th. The process is easy. I have an FAQ page coming, and we do have a graphic online of how to apply, as well as in our videos as referenced earlier. They're open to MCC Scouts who attend an MCC camp. So we do not provide scholarships for MCC Scouts to go out of council camps, and we don't approve scholarship opportunities for non-MCC Scouts to attend our camps. So has to be an MCC Scout, has to be an MCC camp. That does include Ranch Hand and Trail to Eagle. It covers up to 50% of the scholarship. However, you may not get a full 50%. We have a lot of folks that will ask for 50%, but sometimes they get a lesser amount. We do score our applications on a standardized rubric. This allows for fairness and equitable distribution of those limited funds. So even though you ask for 50%, that may not be what you receive. However, you can receive up to 50%. We do encourage units to take part in fundraising activities, the popcorn sale, wreaths, pop can drives, those kinds of things. It is really important to us that Scouts demonstrate that a Scout is thrifty and that they are saving for camp. Those are the big changes. If you have any questions, oh, sorry, there's one more change. In the past, we have allowed Scouts to apply for more than one scholarship opportunity. So if they're going to Trail to Eagle and they're going to traditional summer camp, they've been able to apply for a scholarship for both. However, we have had to reduce it to where a Scout can only apply for one opportunity due to limiting funds and a higher need. So if you know anyone interested in donating to that scholarship fund, that means more kids we can get to camp. But because of those limited funds and the high need, we do have to reduce those opportunities to one scholarship per eligible scout. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I am happy to answer those. And we look forward to getting more kiddos into camp with this opportunity. Real quick before I sign off, if your unit has a high need, please reach out to myself so that we can connect you with our grant team to look for community-based grants in your area. We are really passionate about getting our kiddos into camp. Last year, we had over 700 scouts take advantage of the scholarship opportunity and awarded up to just about $80,000. And so we want to be able to look in those communities, but we need to know that sooner rather than later so that we have time to look for that. So yeah, thanks everyone.
Hey, thanks, Rebecca. I'm back, and I get to talk about provisional camping opportunities now. So if you don't know what that big word means, basically it's an opportunity to camp without your troop. We alluded to this a little bit earlier. We have a lot of opportunities for maybe your scout wants to go to a second week of camp and they didn't get enough the first time, so they want to go another time. Maybe your scout can't go to camp the week that your troop is going to camp because they've got a sports camp or a family vacation or something. Maybe your scout doesn't want to go to the camp that your troop is going to. Maybe your troop's going out of council and they really want to go to one of our fantastic in-council camps. Provisional camping is the answer. So how this works, we have a provisional opportunity available almost every week of the summer, in depending on the camp and who's in session. We do have some camp-sponsored sessions, so they're going to take a whole bunch of different provisional scouts from around the council, maybe even some out of council, and build a troop out of them. We also have the opportunity to link provisional scouts up with sponsor units. So when I've been a part of this in the past, I know we've tried to find a unit that was in the same local area. Maybe there's some folks in there that your scout may already know or go to school with or something like that. We'll try to link those units up with those scouts specifically, and they get to act as a member of that unit for the week. If this is a second week of camp, it does qualify for that second week of camp discount. But the biggest thing that we are trying to provide here and solve here is there is no excuse for your scout not to go to camp this summer. We want to remove all of the barriers, so provisional camping is a great opportunity. We've even had some scouts that wanted to attend three or four sessions in a summer, and we are happy to have them whenever they'd like to come. For more information on how provisional opportunities are run at each one of our camps specifically, you can reach out to that camp director. And we had a recommendation in the chat earlier about coming up with like a provisional hotline. I got to talk with the IT folks and see how we could get that worked out. But in the meantime, if you need help registering provisionally, you can always reach out to the camp director. And if you can't get a hold of them, you can reach out to myself or Rebecca, and we'd be happy to work you through that part of the process. This kind of brings our general program towards the end. Before we get into question and answer, I'm going to pull an audible here. I want to introduce Jay Stecker. He is a new member of the camping leadership team, new to us at least, and want to introduce him to introduce himself. And I think Jay's got a little call to action for us here.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate everybody being on this webinar tonight. Thank you to our leaders of our youth, and thank you to the staff and volunteer team that has put this together and is putting together a great summer for 2026. I'm Jay Stecker. I'm on staff, as Greg mentioned. I'll be taking an increased leadership role within the camping system as we move forward. I was trying to think of a quote to say tonight, and after listening to Mike Selgrove talk about this being one of the first dominoes and Greg talking about it being phase one, I think what I want to say is no plan ever failed because of lack of a great plan. I know that's kind of circular, but that's right where we are. the more information we have, the better we can be. You've heard that before. So if you haven't registered for camp, I ask you to do that. I know a December 1 date is out there for some specific reasons and incentives, but you don't have to wait for December 1. You can do it now. Also, if you have told us, like verbally or through an email, that you're coming to an MCC camp, but you haven't let us know which one, letting us know which one would certainly be awesome. And if you haven't given us an estimate of the amount of youth coming, that would also be excellent as well. With that, I think we'll move back to the star of the show, Greg.
Hey, thanks a lot, Jay, and welcome to the team. We're happy to have you over here in camping. We get to I want to emphasize what Jay's saying. We've got just a couple more weeks here before that registration deadline. Want to get everybody registered. Sorry, incentive deadline. Want to get everybody registered, get those free leaders in. But if nothing else, let us know your plan so that we know how to plan appropriately. And now we get into the question and answer part of the evening. If there's anything that hasn't been addressed so far today, whether we didn't get to you in the chat or you just thought of something here recently, we're going to take a few minutes here, throw those questions in the chat, and we're going to do our best to answer them here in real time.
You don't leave today without getting some of your basic questions answered as it pertains to going to summer camp. We did talk about, we'll have the kickoff in January that is camp specific, which is where we're going to ask you to gear some of those really camp specific questions to. I will be putting everyone's email back in the chat here in just a moment so that you all don't have to scroll all the way back through to find those. But like I said, do not leave tonight without those basic questions that you have answered. If it's not something that we can answer live, we'll answer back to you. We may ask you if it's something detailed to reach out to one of us specifically. But we'll give you a couple seconds or minutes here, I guess, to put anything that you have in the chat. While you're typing that in there, Greg, I did just scroll back through, and there is not anything in the Q&A box that has not yet already been answered. So we'll sit, hopefully not in silence here, as you think about and get those questions in the chat. Greg, it looks like we have a question on Trail to Eagle. So I'll send that over to you or Diana or whoever wants to take that. And we'll continue to answer questions until no more are coming into the question and answer feature.
I can answer the question. I think, is Teresa answering it? There we go. So the answer is yes, Bob. We're going to be, Trail to Eagle does qualify as a week of resident camp. So just like the rest of our resident camps we do, the second week discount would be available if needed.
Hey, thanks, Diana. Hey, Bob's got a question about where to find the leaders guides when they do come out. So what you're going to do, you're going to go to michiganscouting.org. You're going to hover over the little camp icon on the top bar, and you're going to go down to Scout Camp. And you're going to click on Scouts BSA Camp, and they should all populate on that landing page when they're launched here in December. Another place to find them is going to be right on that Black Pug registration page where you go to register for camp and things like that. And you scroll all the way down to the bottom right of that registration page. There's usually a link for them in there too. And Andrew just put a direct link to where those leaders guides are going to live in the chat. So thanks for doing that, Andrew.
Hey, Greg, won't they be able to find those in their camp apps?
They should be able to find them in the camp app as well. And that's a great little segue there, Eric. So we do have the camp apps back in all of our camps this year. We're working on putting more information in those, and depending on the camp you're in and the reliability of cell coverage, they're a fantastic tool. But you will be able to access the leaders guides through the camp apps as we get a little bit closer in here too as well. Thanks. Great point, Eric. The
Yeah,
Grand
yeah.
Rapids meeting, we are tentatively planning to have that at the Grand Rapids office, Adventure Point. We are waiting on a final confirmation on that, so it's subject to change, but that's currently the plan.
Greg, in addition to the camp app, all of the leaders' guides will also be linked to the attachments heading on the landing page of your registration. So once those are live, if you go to your summer camp registration, as if you instead of having to go look for them on the website, they will also be on the under the attachments heading on your registration, and will link you right back to the michiganscouting.org site as well.
Hey, thanks, Andrew. Hey, we got a question about scuba at Gerber. So I do apologize. I'm going to be slightly vague here, just because I'm still hammering out some of the details of this myself. But the plan is to have scuba opportunities available both weeks at camp. It's kind of a sideline program because of the amount of just the amount required for that to function safely and in line with not only the PADI standards, but also the scouting safety standards. So there should be opportunities available both weeks. There is an additional fee for scuba programming. Dave, if you'd like to reach out to me, I'll get you in touch with the specifics on that. And I think we can give it just a couple more minutes here. I believe Diana answered the question about NYLT qualifying for the second week discount, and I believe the answer was yes.
Oh, I think that was Rebecca.
And Rianne, I'll address this real quick. There was an email that went out yesterday basically saying we don't have a registration for your troop. Make sure you don't miss the December 1st deadline. I will own that. There was a mistake in the calculating when I made that mailing list, so it did unfortunately go out to a handful of people that shouldn't have received it. So if you'd like, feel free to email me. I'm happy to confirm registrations, but I do apologize to anybody that got that email erroneously. And I believe there was a follow-up to that effect that went out as well. So. With that, I think we've got everything hammered down in the chat here. So I would like to thank everybody for joining us tonight. If you've got more questions that you just couldn't get to tonight for whatever reason, as always, feel free to reach out to anybody on the camping leadership team or your camp directors or anybody that knows about camp. We're always happy to talk about it. We are always happy to answer your questions and just do whatever we can to help. So as we mentioned earlier, this will be posted on michiganscouting.org in a couple of days, as well as a slide deck. And don't forget that December 1st deadline. We do look forward to seeing everybody back here in January, and we look forward to seeing you at camp this summer. Have a great night.